Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're diving into a truly contrarian approach to personal finance, and it is going to completely flip traditional saving advice right on its head. If you're just exhausted from feeling guilty about every single dollar you spend, well, you're in the right place. We're going to break down the core argument of our source material today, which boldly insists that to actually get rich, you need to stop obsessing over saving pennies and instead start strategically spending them. I just love how blunt our source material is right out of the gate here. It says, everyone tells you to stop buying lattes. They're wrong. We've all heard the usual advice, right? Cut out the small joys, save $3 a day, and magically you're going to be a millionaire in 50 years. But the source argues that this hyper-focus on micro-deprivation is actually a massive distraction. It completely limits your mindset. So instead of playing defense with your money, you really need to start playing offense.
And this really illustrates a massive paradigm shift. Think about it. On one side, we've got traditional frugality. This is spending, say, 4 hours of your weekend building a wobbly shelf just to save $20. It's basically viewing any spending as a total loss. But on the flip side, we have anti-frugality. Now, this is all about strategic spending for a high return on investment. It's about maximizing your earning potential. The guide is basically proposing that we move away from a scarcity mindset and instead shift toward an abundance mindset. You want your money to act as an engine designed to multiply your wealth, not just sit there idle in a bank account.
So, by definition, anti-frugality is the strategy of stopping traditional saving and instead spending money on the right things to yield the highest dividends. Now, the absolutely crucial point here is that anti-frugality isn't about being reckless. We aren't talking about going out and buying a fleet of sports cars or blowing your whole paycheck on luxury items just for the fun of it. No, it is a highly calculated strategy of investing in yourself. It's really the disciplined act of identifying what actually drives your personal growth and then pouring gasoline directly onto that fire.
7 things you must buy. Let's see exactly how this builds into actionable steps.
So our source outlines 7 specific investments you literally must make, and these act as absolute catalysts for your personal wealth. To really grasp these effectively, we can actually group them into 3 core themes that are emphasized for increasing your productivity and growth. Those are buying back time through outsourcing, investing in education, and acquiring high-quality tools. The overarching narrative here is pretty straightforward. Your income is directly tied to your output and your expertise. So if you want to increase your wealth, you absolutely have to spend money on the things that allow you to produce more, and at a much higher level of quality.
Buying back your time. Let's jump into this first major theme of strategic spending.
The logic here is honestly fascinating. The source dictates that you must spend money to outsource tasks and reclaim your time. But why? Well, because instead of doing everything yourself just to save a few dollars, you should be actively buying back your hours. Your time is finite, right? But your earning potential is not. Think about it kind of like this. If you value your time at, say, $100 an hour, and you can pay someone $20 an hour to mow your lawn or handle some basic data entry, you are literally profiting $80 an hour just by outsourcing. You get to reclaim those vital hours to focus strictly on the high-yield activities that actually move the needle on your wealth.
Education and quality tools. Let's move right along into the next 2 pillars of this mindset.
This breaks down into an incredibly clear 2-step process. Step 1 is invest in education. By systematically acquiring new skills, whether that's through a specialized course or some sort of intensive learning, you are essentially upgrading your own internal software. You immediately become a far more valuable asset in the marketplace. Then, step 2, acquire high-quality tools. By upgrading your tools, like actually buying that faster computer so it doesn't cost you 30 minutes of frustrating load time every single day, or maybe paying for the software that automates your emails, you completely remove the friction from your work. The source makes the case that combining specialized knowledge with top-tier tools basically removes any artificial ceiling on what you can achieve in a single day. It's a total game changer.
The immediate upgrade rule. Now, this is where the strategy shifts from just starting out to scaling up aggressively. Okay, so now that we've covered what to buy, the source introduces a critically important rule for sustaining this upward trajectory once the money actually starts rolling in. The guide explicitly states, once you get money, upgrade these 10 things immediately. Now, the core philosophy here is that early success can so often breed complacency. The very moment you see a financial return, our traditional frugal instinct is to just hoard it away. But the anti-frugal approach insists that immediate upgrades in key areas of your life and workflow are absolutely essential to sustain your growth. Honestly, if you don't reinvest your profits into better systems, better tools, and better support, you are going to hit a plateau. You just have to keep feeding the engine that generates your wealth.
And this transition is exactly what sustains your growth. We're moving from the standard habit of DIY everything straight to outsourcing. We're shifting from allowing ourselves to have stagnant skills to committing fully to continuous education. And we finally stop settling for cheap equipment that breaks or slows us down, and instead we confidently invest in high-quality productivity tools. What you're doing is systematically replacing restrictive, small-minded habits with strategic upgrades across the board. Ultimately, this builds a solid, unshakable infrastructure to fuel your long-term, exponential success.
As we wrap up this explainer, I really want you to take a look at your own life and ask yourself this final, provocative question. What is one frugal habit that is actually costing you money right now? Are you wasting precious hours just to save a few pennies? Are you refusing to buy a tool that could literally double your daily output? I want you to think deeply about it. Because true wealth isn't about how much you can blindly save by depriving yourself. It's really about how strategically you can invest in your greatest asset, which is yourself. So take a hard look at where you're playing small, make that strategic investment, and start multiplying your potential today.